is everybody from? We'll do some introductions here and see what we got going on. Oh, I didn't shut Katy Perry down. Sorry. Hey, everybody. All right, let's see what we got going on. All right. Hey, everybody. Go ahead and let me know where you're from. Say hello. I am in Kentucky right now. I'll just go ahead and tell you that. And I'm usually in Tennessee or Georgia, but today I'm in Kentucky for an auctioneer school. I'll get into more of that later. And I'm just so excited that y'all are here with me. Go ahead. I think somebody said they were from Tennessee. They emailed me earlier and they're in. Most of the people are not in Tennessee. You're not local people. All right. We got Angela in Florida. I'm glad you're here. Oh, Greenville, South Carolina. My aunt and uncle live there. They're actually coming up to Kentucky tomorrow to hang out with me. So I'm glad to see that we got some people all around the Southeast, at least for sure right now. I will go ahead and say hello, and I'll get started. It's 7 o'clock now, so if nothing, I can be punctual, right? Let me get over here. I've started an offer. I think you should be able to see it, and we're counting down. We got 22 minutes on it, so I'm going to get on with it. If you have any questions, go ahead and put them in this chat box as I'm going, and I'll circle back around later and answer your questions. Okay, so if you have any, go ahead and put them in the chat box. Now, let's see. We want to screen share. And I'm leaving you, but just for a little bit, I'm still with you. All right, so this is the Busy Mom's Guide to Real Estate, and I know that we may have some busy dads on here tonight. That's totally cool. Love dads too. I think I speak mom more than I speak dad, so we're going with the moms. My name is Whitney Nicely East. I just got married in October. I'm going by Whitney Nicely though, and this is me. This is last year's headshot. I'm doing another headshot in about a week, so I'll have fresh pictures coming out, new spring lineup, I guess you could say. This is kind of my resume, if you will. I am the real estate broker for Whitney Buys Houses. I just want you to know that you do not need to be a real estate agent or a broker for sure to buy houses, okay? This is a little bit overkill, but I like licenses, so I have a license. I'm also an auctioneer because I love hanging out with auctioneers, and I thought, well, if you like being them so much, why don't you just become an auctioneer? Which is the same reason that I'm a real estate investor. I liked hanging out with real estate investors, so I just became a real estate investor. I coach people on how to buy houses and land and flip them and all that kind of stuff. And I flip houses myself in my spare time when I'm not running back and forth to Georgia. So that's a little bit about me. And I know that you're here because you want to buy real estate. You want to be a big real estate investor. And I think we've all had that childhood moment where we play Monopoly and we're like, man, I should be in real estate. This is really, really cool. And if you haven't played Monopoly in a while, I'll just go ahead and tell you to skip that. Get Cash Flow, which is a Robert Kiyosaki game. They make it for kids. They make it for adults. You can actually play it on your phone also, but it is way more fun to play Cash Flow in person with your friends. And if you are in my area and you have a free evening and you want to play Cash Flow, I am always down for a game of Cash Flow. So real estate is a solid career path. And in my opinion, real estate is important, especially for women, because we're going to live longer than men. All right. It has been scientifically proven that in America, on average, women live longer than men. And in my own personal experience, I will tell you that women spend more money than men. And it may be because we do the grocery shopping usually. We're the gatherers. It may be because we're in charge of buying the mother-in-law Christmas presents and birthday presents. And we, stop and buy little sweets for the kids. And, we buy more stuff than men. And I'm not saying that men don't, because I know my dad, my brother, my husband, they spend their fair share, but I think ultimately I spend more money than they do. So if we're going to be living longer and spending more money throughout our lifetime as women, we need to have more money. Now, if you can dream it, you can do it. And Walt Disney was famous for this, all right? If you are in your heart right now, you know that you want to invest in real estate and you know that you want to be the biggest and baddest real estate investor in your town, then that is awesome. I know you can do it. I know you can do it because I did it. All right. I have been buying real estate for a couple of years, and I started off, if you can imagine a totem pole or a pyramid, then land is the bottom of the pyramid. It is the foundation of the totem pole. And I teach everybody that the first thing that you need when you get into real estate is land. because you can buy land for, fairly cheap. You don't need $100,000 to start a real estate portfolio, especially if you're going to be buying land. Land is so easy to come by. And I know that you're saying, well, it's not easy in my town. Well, it is if you're looking in the right spot. Or maybe you need to go 2 counties over and then there's plenty of land. But I will tell you that land takes time, all right? And real estate takes time. You're not going to wake up one morning and you bought 12 houses the night before. It doesn't happen like that, okay? You have to start taking the steps on day 1 so that on day 365, you have 12 houses. It's a step-by-step process, and that is what I am really, really good at breaking down and explaining to people. All right. Another thing I'll say about land is that they're not making any more. All right. You can go out and you can spend $1,500 on a Louis Vuitton purse, or you can spend $1,500 on Christian Louboutin shoes or a Cartier bracelet, or you can buy, whatever you want to with $1,500, but a year from now, it's going to be out of style. Whereas if you had bought land with that $1,500, like 3 years ago, I bought a ½ acre of industrial land, and I rent that land for $250 a month. So I spent $1,500, but if you can do the math, 1,500 divided by 250, you'll see that I got my money back pretty quickly. And since I've had it for 3 years, I've been making $250 a month that I can use to either go buy that Louis Vuitton bag, to go buy that Cartier bracelet, or to go on a weekend getaway with my husband every month with $250. Maybe that pays for our hotel room for a couple nights. Or I could save that $250, and at the end of the year, I have, how much is that? Times 10 months, that's $2,500, so almost $3,000 every year off a $1,500 investment. Hello, yes, let's start buying some land. And whenever you decide to buy it, just buy it as soon as possible, okay? The saying in real estate is that you don't wait to buy real estate. You buy real estate and wait, okay? And they're not making any more. You can buy all the Louis Vuitton bags you want to, but like I said, in a year, they're out of style. Well, if you buy land for the same money, then in a year, you're in the harvest. All right? You're bringing money in. Your land isn't out of style because land doesn't go out of style. All right? Maybe some neighborhoods come and go, but I'm going to teach you how to buy and which kinds of land to buy to make sure that you are prepared for the valleys. All right. The second thing we're going to talk about is residential real estate. I buy houses. I love buying houses. And this is a house, this stone house is one that I flipped in 2015. I flipped about 6. And you don't always have to flip houses to get into real estate investing. You can, I call it lipstick on a pig flipping. So I'll go in and maybe I'll paint a wall. Maybe I will just put new floor in the kitchen. Maybe I will take down all the owner's decorations, and I use that with quotes because it's mostly just junk. Maybe I just clear out the house and clean it really good and flip it, and somebody wants to buy it then. So my brother and I buy houses together, and this is a house that we bought and flipped the kitchen in. And I'm telling you, you do not have to go spend $12,000 or $15,000 putting a new kitchen in to flip the house. But everybody knows that you've walked into a house that has looked like the picture up top and you've thought, oh man, nobody's going to buy this house with it looking like that. But if you were ready to put the money in to make it look like it does on the bottom, then everybody that walks in goes, oh, I want to buy it. How much is it? Can we buy it? Do you think we can sell our house so we could buy this one? And that's what you want. When you're buying and selling, when you're flipping houses, you can do all this specialty kind of stuff, but I'm going to teach you how to buy houses and flip them so that 80 to 90% of the market is going to be ready to buy it as soon as they walk in the front door. They are going to be looking for reasons not to buy this house, not to put an offer in on it by the time they're leaving. And that's why real estate moves so fast. People say that real estate's really slow, and it's not. Real estate is really, really fast as long as you're doing it the right way. Now, I told you that my brother and I are partners on buying houses, and that's just because I wanted a partner. as, you know, a 26-year-old girl, woman, I thought I needed a real estate partner. But you don't. But let's say that you have a real estate partner set up already. Maybe you have a brother or a husband or a wife or a mom or a best friend, and you know that you both want to be real estate investors. And how are you going to get into this? What are you going to do? Are you going to pull your money, your time, your resources? What is each partner going to bring to the table? And it's very possible that you get into it and you realize you don't need your partner. This is my brother. He's my partner. He was my first real estate investor partner. He was my first partner in life. And so it was just natural for us to be real estate partners. But now I don't even tell him when I buy houses. I've got another real estate company that I buy houses in, and Tyler doesn't know if I'm buying it in mine and his company, in my company, in another company. In fact, we did our taxes last week, and he called me, and I'll tell you that this is a really great way for your brother to call. He called, and we usually talk every day or so, and he said, Whit, do you know that you bought 12 houses last year? I said, really? I thought I bought more than that. But still, I don't tell him when I buy houses anymore, because you don't need a partner. You need someone to guide you through the process. But a lot of times your partner, that's, you know, Tyler and I joined up when we started real estate investing because we thought together we could figure it out. And I'm telling you, together we did not figure out very much. We got really good at real estate investing when I got a real estate coach, and they said, do this, do that. Here's this formula, use this script, talk to these sellers. Boom, I'm buying 12 houses a year. The next part of real estate that I get really, really excited about is a deal that I work on with my husband. My husband and I are partners on commercial real estate. He doesn't like houses. I'm not really sure my brother likes houses either, but he wasn't ready for apartments. And my husband just loves apartments. This is a 5-unit apartment that we have, which is considered large multi-units. Small units are 2, 3, or 4. Large units are anything with 5 or more on one parcel. So you could have 2, 3, 4, 5, 25 families on one parcel. That would be commercial units, apartment units. And I'll tell you in a little while why I love commercial units way more than I love houses. And houses and I have gotten along ever since I can remember. But commercial properties are like houses on steroids. It's so awesome. And if you stick around to the end, you'll see I've got a whole list of why apartments are better. I'll show you how to use bandit signs. I'll show you how to find sellers. My phone rang off the hook today while I was in school with people wanting to sell, because I put up a bunch of bandit signs before I left town saying, hey, I buy houses. Do you have anything you want to sell? And I've got different strategies depending on what kind of property you're wanting to look for. And you can use these bandit signs on sellers or on buyers. So the same sign could work for buyers or sellers, which is an awesome way to get a good return on this investment for these signs. I'll tell you the strategy behind the signs, why it's partly handwritten, why it's partly stamped. We'll go through this whole process so that you know, beginning to end, everything that I can tell you from all of my experiences, all of my stresses, everything, so that you don't have to go through the same thing that I did. This is my husband, Jason. This is at our first apartment closing, and we actually bought, I'll go back to this slide. This is 5 units right here, and if you could scroll around over to the left side over here, we've got the apartments on this side of these trees. Also, there's 11 units over there. So between these 2 parcels, we have 16 units, which is awesome. And then if you drive up the highway here for about 10 miles, we've got a triplex up there. And I love, love, love my triplex. So this is us when we're buying our commercial real estate, really excited. And then we'll talk about industrial land. I mentioned in the beginning that, you know, industrial land is something that most ladies don't think they want to get into because they don't understand it and they think it's dirty and nasty. But if you will look behind me in this picture, this green grass right here, that's a landfill. Not what you were thinking a landfill looked like, is it? But it is. That is a landfill right there that my mom owns. But most ladies don't think they want industrial property. I told you in the beginning that I bought a half acre of industrial land and I paid $1,500 a month for it. I rent the driveway. I don't even rent the land, but I rent the driveway for $250 a month. If I was renting the land, I could rent it for $500 plus my $250. That's $750 a month. What would you do with an extra $750 a month off a $1,500 investment? I would buy more land or go on a vacation or buy a house, or, I would buy something. But industrial property is awesome. So I'll tell you a little bit about this landfill that my mom has. 300 acres of trash brings in about 10 grand a month. So imagine owning 300 acres of trash and having $10,000 come at you every month. What would you do with $10,000 every month? Could you quit your job then? Could you start a company, a boutique or something? Would you go to Hawaii every other month? I mean, what are you going to do? And if you're thinking that $10,000 a month is cheap for 300 acres, you're right. That is really cheap. This landfill is not just any kind of landfill, though. Diapers and old banana peels don't go to this landfill. The landfill that we have is a construction landfill, so doors and construction debris. So when I flip these houses, if I have cabinets that I don't need anymore, we haul those to this landfill. And it's still, we own the land, we rent the landfill to a landfill company, but they keep it regulated and do everything that they need to do with it. We just collect the rent every month. And since you were right, $10,000 a month isn't enough. So we're going to go up on the rent this month. No, not this month, just this year. And again, what are you going to do if you have an extra $250 coming at you every month? If you have an extra $750 a month coming in at you? Well, if you keep it, then in a year or two, you got $10,000, $15,000 that you can go buy something else. And somebody else is paying you to do this. It's absolutely brilliant. I love real estate. Buy more land. When you get those rent checks coming in, do whatever you need to with them, but make sure you're also buying more land. All right, so some of the things that I specialize in are lease options, subject to financing, and owner financing. And if you've never heard of a lease option, it's amazing. You have a lease, it's a fancy lease agreement with the option to purchase at a certain amount of time at a certain sales price. Totally awesome. Subject to financing is when I go in to a seller's house and they have a mortgage on the property and they can't sell it, so they owe more than it's worth. I will buy the house subject to the mortgage staying in their name, but the deed coming into my name so that I own the property, but they have the mortgage. Isn't that cool? Owner financing says that the house is free and clear and the owner is willing to finance me to buy their house on a long-term buy and hold. Also absolutely amazing. And you will find owner financing deals in every city and every town. There are free and clear houses that people want to sell. They don't know how. They don't really want to just completely cash out, and they are perfect for owner financing. And I'll show you how to do all three of those strategies. Another thing that I focus on are auctions, okay? That $1,500 piece of industrial land, I bought it at an auction. The first piece of property I bought was an acre of residential land. It's in a developed subdivision with underground utilities, and it came with a boat slip on the river. Gated community. I bought it for $1,000 at an auction. I love auctions, okay? I love hanging out with auctioneers. I love buying at auction. I love selling at auction. Everything about auctions make me excited. Everything about real estate, especially real estate auctions, you can hear it. I just go crazy over it, okay? I love it. And by the time I'm done with you, you will know why I love real estate, and you will be shouting that you love real estate from the rooftops as well. But one thing that people tell me about auctions is that they're intimidated. They don't know the process. They don't know how to get the property inspected or approved or appraised, and how much is it going to bring the day of, and how do I know what I need to bring? Will the auctioneer talk too fast and I won't be able to understand them? I mean, there's just so many questions that people have about auctions. So I'll break auctions down for you. In fact, I'll tell you a secret right now. Real estate auctions are completely different than regular auctions. Totally, totally, totally different. Because think about it. If you think about an auctioneer in a cattle sale and they're going a million miles a minute and you can't understand what they're saying, it's because they've got 100 head of cattle. I don't even know if I said that right, but they've got 100 cows that they have to move through this sales yard in about an hour. It's not like that in real estate. I've got one property and I've got about 20 or 30 minutes of your attention span to get as much money as I can out of that one piece of property. So real estate auctioneers will tell a joke, they'll open up the bidding, they'll start talking, they'll go on a rampage, they'll go back to bidding for a minute, they'll take a time out, you can take a phone call, you can call your banker, you can call your wife, you can call your husband, you can reevaluate with your partners on what you want to do. They'll come back, they'll call some bids, they'll take another break, they'll tell another joke, and it's a process. But it's not what you see on TV, because it wouldn't make good TV. It's not fast and action packed, because we're talking about spending 6 figures in 30 minutes. And the real estate auctioneers know that, and they will work with you on that, and they'll be glad to help you bid. All right, but I can work with you on auctions. Another thing is, if you get really excited about these apartments on the slide that I'm going to show you later, I love apartments, okay? And we've been buying apartments for about a year, but there's a totally different strategy and formula when you buy houses versus when you buy apartments. But I've got access to that. I will teach you the different calculations that you're going to need when you get into these different kinds of real estate. If you want to get into storage units, awesome, I'm in. If you want to get into mobile home parks, absolutely, I can handle that too. And if at any time you start to think, hey, Whit, this sounds awesome, but I just don't have time for all this, and I know you're really excited about it, so since you're so excited and I've got this money, how about I just partner with you on one of your houses that you're buying, and we'll split it, or we'll do a percentage return on it, or whatever you can offer me. That's fine. We can do that. So if you love real estate, but you don't really want to get your hands dirty in it, let me know about that. If you love real estate and you want to get better at real estate, you need to be in my VIP coaching package. All right. It's absolutely fabulous. I'll teach you everything that I can in 6 months. We're going to talk for an hour a week. All right. And you can do this part-time. You could do this full-time. If you get into real estate investing and you really start to like it, it won't be long before it's full-time. Or if you're an accountant and you love accounting, you can keep your accountant job and just know that you have an extra $1,000 a month coming in to pay for whatever you want it to pay for the year. You have an extra $10,000 a month coming in. It can go towards a vacation in Hawaii if you want it to. All right. Real estate will open the doors to so many different opportunities for you. So you come here and you need 5 steps to be successful in real estate. Let me get a drink of water. You need to evaluate your goals. And in the first week or 2 on my private one-on-one coaching, we're going to talk about your goals. What are your real goals? And if you're not really sure, you just know that you want to have real estate for when you retire, that's a great goal. If you want to get into real estate so you can start making $5,000 a month wholesaling properties, that's a good goal also. If you want to leave your 9 to 5 and be immersed in real estate in the next 6 months, totally cool. That's a great goal. We can work through all of that. I love to talk to anybody and everybody about real estate. Your real estate, my real estate, your market, my market. We'll compare them and we'll get through this process together. If your whole goal is to buy 1 house a year and in 5 years you have 5 houses and you are maxed out and that's all you want, that's awesome. If you know that you already have 12 houses and you're kind of bored with them and you want to up your game and you want to work with me on apartments, bring it on. I want to buy 100 apartments too this year. If you want to buy 25 a year in the next 5 years, we could totally do that. All right. I will teach you that. I will be with you through this whole process. We've got 6 months and we will talk once a week. We've got email access all the time. We're going to evaluate your properties and we're going to talk about where you need to be, what you need to be telling sellers, what you need to be telling buyers if you're going to be wholesaling or assigning. All very cool, all very fun. I'll teach you how to research your market and look up the comps, look up the average sales price, what you can be doing to work with your competition, but also to be working with your realtors because they aren't your competition. Other investors aren't your competition. You are your competition. And if you can get out of your own way, you will be a rock star investor in no time. I mean, a couple weeks, maybe a couple months, or maybe you want to perfect it and be that rock star in a couple years. Totally cool. I'll help you. A lot of people get hung up when they actually have to talk to the sellers. I have scripts that we will go through and we can practice together. We can role play together on what the sellers are going to say. I'll do some blind seller calls with you so that you can hear what a seller is going to say on the other line and realize that it's not that scary. They are people and they have what you want. They have a house for sale and you want to buy a house, so go out there and buy it. Work together, negotiate it, get it together, present your offers. Make sure that you are presenting offers on a regular basis to hit your goals. And we're going to talk about exit strategy. When I first started investing, I had no idea what exit strategy was and why every investor wanted to talk about it. But your exit strategy is exactly that. You need to know how to get in and get out of a deal. Maybe getting out of a deal is renting it. Maybe you want to be a buy and hold investor and you want to rent it for the rest of your life. Awesome. Perfect exit strategy. Maybe you want to be a wholesaler and you want to get in and flip the property, flip the contract over to an investor. Maybe you want to be a flipper and you want to get in, buy the property at a low rate, put some money in it, flip it, make it pretty, and sell it on the retail market. That's also a great exit strategy. So an exit strategy is exactly what you're going to do to either make the money or get the return on your investment that you're seeking to satisfy your goals. Anytime I talk to anybody, I can get real estate in the conversation in about 5 minutes. And if I don't get it in about 5 minutes, I'm bored. Just to be honest with you, I'm not good at chit chat. I'm not good at celebrity gossip. I'm not good at any of that stuff. I am good at real estate and I love it. You've always got me if you want to sell your home. I'll teach you about for sale by owners. And this looks like a pretty red and white sign that says for sale by owner, but it's not. It's a big red target that says, help me. I don't know what I'm doing. I need somebody to buy this house quickly because I'm suffering and dying here. Okay. Please help me. Call me. Buy my house. That's what this sign says. And I love for sale by owners because I love helping people. I love helping them get to their goal. And if they want to sell their house, I'm their girl. I'm going to teach you how to be that go-to person if somebody wants to sell. A lot of people think real estate is complicated, and it's not. It's very simple. It can be very strategic. All you got to do is look at 10 houses a week. Well, Whitney, where am I going to find 10 houses a week? How am I going to get to 10 houses a week? I'm telling you, I'm going to teach you how your phone is going to ring off the hook. All right, I've got strategies to get sellers calling. By the time you're done with them, they're going to be salivating for you to bring a contract over and sell it, buy it, get it moving, take it away from them. But 10 houses a week is going to be your homework. And I'm going to hold you to that. If you're ready and you're serious and you want to buy a house in a month, this is your plan right here. If you want to buy a house at the end of 6 months, maybe you don't need to look at 10 houses per week. It's all going to depend on your individual goals. These are some houses that I've bought. This is a house in Morristown that I bought, and I thought I was going to have owner financing on it. And lo and behold, a man with a VA loan was pre-approved and came through and bought that house in less than a month. So I didn't get to owner finance it. But I made some money. This Dandridge house, it doesn't look like much, but that is a gorgeous piece of property right there in a fabulous neighborhood. And I was able to buy it again with owner financing. And I thought I was going to have a really sweet owner financing deal until somebody with some private money came through and said, hey, I need to buy something. So I used their private money to buy this house, and I'm going to end up making about $30,000 to $40,000 on it. So if you like $30,000 to $40,000 coming at you for about, I answered the phone for about 2 weeks. That's it. And I'm waiting about a year, but $30,000 for basically 2 weeks of worth, and waiting for a year while this woman prepaid her rent for 6 months. She's going to prepay again for another 6 months. Y'all, that's easy to figure. All right, so I know you've been waiting on this. What's the big deal? I alluded to it earlier that I like apartments better than I like houses. But, we've got 15 houses and 19 apartment units, so I'm pretty much tied on what I have. And the reason is this. Imagine, for easy math, that this is the situation. Let's say you can buy a house in your neighborhood for $100,000. And you either own or finance it, or you go to the bank and get traditional financing. Or maybe this is something you already have set up. And you're paying $500 a month in the mortgage payment. Your taxes and insurance are an additional $200 a month, $100 for each. And let's say you rent this house for $800 a month. Well, simple math tells us that we're making $100 a month, right? But we haven't figured in expenses in Murphy. And Murphy is Murphy's Law. And Murphy's Law says that anything that can go wrong will go wrong. All right? So our $100 profit could be a negative $500, loss every month. Because what if the toilets get clogged? What if, on a house, you need to be saving money all the time so that you can put a new roof on the house when this one goes bad. And yes, you don't have to do that every year, but that's a big expense. And if you haven't been saving money all along, you don't have any money to pay that roofer. So on the flip side, you could buy a triplex, which is, like we talked about earlier, 3 units under one roof. You can buy it for the same $100,000. Your mortgage payment is $500. Your taxes and insurance are still $200. But your rental income is $500 per unit. Now, 500 times 3 is $1,500. So just flat math, we're collecting $800 a month on the single family house and $1,500 a month on the triplex. Given what we have here, we can pay $500 a month for the mortgage, $200 a month for the taxes and insurance. That's $700 total. We can figure $300 a month for expenses in Murphy, whether that's putting money towards the roof and expense, or whether that's figuring, the lawn maintenance and the plumber having to come out once or twice and the pest control guy and all that jazz. $300 a month, which leaves us $500 a month in profit. You're not going to get that in single family residential. All right. The numbers just aren't there. But in a triplex, and I will tell you, these are the actual numbers. This is a house that I have. I rent it for $800 a month. And this is a triplex that Jason and I have that we put $500 a month in our pocket. Or you can take that $500 a month and double down on your mortgage. So you're going to pay this thing off twice as fast, which means you have free and clear $1,500 coming at you every month. What would you do with $1,500 extra in 5 years? I can't wait to show you how amazing real estate is. I mean, you see me on Facebook and Instagram and Periscope, and I'm always talking about how much fun I'm having and real estate is great, but it's going to blow your mind. All right. These numbers, these are true numbers. This is real life. These are examples from my life, not stuff that I've made up. All right. And the freedom, y'all, it is so awesome. I've been in Kentucky this whole week and I'm good because it's the second week of the month. Everybody made their rent payment on the first week of the month. And I'm just kind of chilling until the next first of the month. And all I have to do then is wake up and log in to my inbox or my checking account to see that everybody paid their rent on time. And if they didn't pay it on time, they pay 10% more for it being late. The possibilities are endless. And once you get into real estate, you're going to see that the opportunities are also endless. Okay. Once you get into that rhythm and you get into that I buy houses and you start telling everybody and you're excited about it and people start seeing that you really do buy houses, then more leads come towards you. All right. And it's waiting on you. You're going to see those for sale by owner signs are going to start popping up everywhere. I'm an agent and I don't ever deal with any other agents. If I go to a continuing education, I don't ever know anybody there because I don't network. I don't hang out with the agents. I don't have to. I bought 12 houses and never bumped into another agent. Unless I will tell you that now agents are starting to call me to buy their house. Now that's cool. Don't give up on your dreams, y'all. We started this at the beginning saying that if you dream it, you can do it. And if you're still dreaming and I've got you really excited about real estate, which I hope I have gotten you excited because I love it, okay? I'm all real estate all the time. I love it. You can be that real estate investor in your neighborhood. So if you're ready, I'm going to come back over here. I'm going to X out of this real quick. Come back over. I think our option has expired and I think the offer has expired. So we're going to post up a different offer. If you're ready to get more into real estate and you're ready to go on and learn more, then that's awesome. I'm ready to tell you all about it. Go back over here. So I've got a discovery call up. If you missed the option earlier to just go ahead and opt in for the Busy Mom's Guide to Real Estate 6-month program, totally fun, totally worth it, and totally going to change your life. You can either go to whitneynicely.com under featured product and go ahead and sign up. But what I would really like for everybody to do is book a discovery call with me. And I think the link is up there. I'll also email you the link for both of them, so that we can take 15 to 20 minutes and talk about your real estate goals. We can figure out where we're going to take you. We can start our roadmap to get you to where you want to be in real estate. And since I'm out buying houses and I'm out doing other stuff too, I only take a select group of future millionaires. And in real estate, you can go from a $5 net worth to a $100,000 net worth to $1 million net worth in a year or less, depending on what you buy, how much you owe on it, and what your kind of payments are. It's so awesome, the opportunities that come along in real estate that you're not going to get at a regular 9-to-5. And it's fun. It's so much fun. So I want you to be ready to grow and learn because I've got a lot to teach you. And you know that I can talk forever about real estate. This is one of the mistakes that I made. All right, so in another slide or two, everybody's going to want to ask, well, Whitney, have you lost any money? And I'm going to be real honest right here and tell you that, yes, I lost money on this house. When I bought it, this is what it looked like. And we flipped it. We cut the trees down. We did some work in the back. I spent about $500 on it. But I didn't look at this house before I bought it. My brother drove by. He was like, if we can get it for this much, then that'll be fine. But the day we were over there working on this house, both sides had some issues. And I was completely uncomfortable. And I decided that that was the last day I was going to be at that house. I didn't know what was going to happen, but I had to get rid of it. And that was also a mistake because I should have kept it. I should have worked out a different deal on it. I should not have sold it for what I did, but I didn't like the house. I was uncomfortable over there. And since I've been through that, I don't want you to go through that. And I will show you what you need to look for and what you need to process before you buy a house so that you don't lose any money on it. Now, if you're ready to experience all that life has to offer and avoid the mistakes that I made, this is your chance. I say sign up if you're a goal-driven woman, but if you're a goal-driven man, I'd love to teach you how to buy real estate too. All right. This started out being the Busy Mom's Guide to Real Estate. And that's just because I speak mom. I don't feel like I speak dad, but real estate could go for moms or dads or non-moms and non-dads. Okay. Real estate fits everybody. And this is 6 months. And by the end of 6 months, you can be that real estate investor that you've always wanted to be and conquer real estate. There's also plenty of houses to buy. So I made that one mistake on that one house out of 15 houses. So that was my 16th house. It was one of the first houses I bought. And I've learned a lot since then. I've grown a lot since then. And I don't want you to make those same mistakes. So again, if you're goal driven and if you're ready to spread your wings, I started out after college working for my mom's company, and that was great and fun. My mom is my idol. You know, I want to be her when I grow up, but I was ready to spread my wings and get out of the trucking company. So if you're ready to find something new that excites you, that makes you want to jump out of bed in the morning, it's going to be real estate, and you can conquer it in your neighborhood. Or like Abby, she's the only dog I know that buys houses, and she's really good at it. They say that once your brain is opened up to a new possibility and a new learning experience and a new situation, you can't ever close the door on that again. And once you learn all these tips and tidbits and work with me one-on-one for 6 months, you can't go back to life before real estate. There's just no way that you can figure it in your brain to invest money in any other situation or event or investment besides real estate. I'm going to teach you to be the line and to get out there and tackle real estate to the best of your ability, to the best of my ability. And it's going to be incredible, the world that's going to be open up to you. So again, here's the mistakes I made. Woodlawn, that was the house with the trees on it that we just saw. And I made a mistake because who buys a house and doesn't even go look at it? That doesn't make sense at all, does it? No. You're sitting there right now going, what an idiot. Why would she buy a house if she hadn't even looked at it? Well, because it was cheap, and I thought that if I could buy it cheap enough, I could make enough money that it wouldn't be a big deal. I paid too much money. Not only did I pay too much money on that house, I bought another house, and we paid $25,000 for a 4-bedroom, 2-bath house on about an acre lot in the city. I thought, how could we go wrong? This is awesome. Except when we got to the closing table, the seller told me that they'd talked to like 5 or 6 other investors and nobody had offered as much money as I'd offered. So I knew right then and there that I was not prepared. I'd messed up. And since then, I have formulas that I use, and I won't buy a house unless it fits my formula. And that house, even today, it exceeds my formula. All right. So that was still a good purchase, even though the other investors didn't think it was a good purchase because I have a different strategy than they do. That house still fits my numbers, and I'm still making pretty good money on it. Another mistake I made was not screening my tenants appropriately. And that's, one of the things that people say to me, well, what if I buy a house and somebody punches a hole in the wall? Well, then fix it. All right. But if you screen your tenants and you know who's going to be living in your properties and they know you and they have a relationship with you, then they don't want to destroy the property. And another thing is, if you get enough money in the security deposit, use their money to fix the wall. But like I told you in the very beginning, land is the first thing you should be buying. You know why? Because it's grass and it's trees, and nobody's going to punch a hole in the tree. All right, so that problem goes away immediately. And I mean, what are they going to do? Get a truck stuck in your grass? That's like all they can do to hurt land. All right. I'll tell you another mistake that I made. Speaking of land, I bought 3 acres, and I thought when I looked up the parcel ID that I was going to be buying 15 acres overlooking the lake. It was at an auction, actually a tax sale deed, a tax sale from the local county. And when I bid $500 for 15 acres overlooking the lake and I won, I knew I'd made a mistake. It was an easy mistake. Anybody could have done it, but I saw a 1 where I should have seen a 7 in the parcel ID number. So I have 3 acres under the lake. No grass, no trees on my 3 acres. But I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to get a houseboat and plop it down with a big pink Whitney buys lake houses sign out there. And I'm going to use it for advertising. So I've made some mistakes. I've learned from them, but we're going to make lemonade out of them before it's all over. Also, if you sign up for my VIP package in the next, I think I'm going to run this for about 48. No, I'll probably run it through Monday because I'm in Kentucky and I'm going to the horse races. So I'll run it through Monday. If you sign up for the discovery call and sign up for my VIP package before Monday, I'm going to throw in a bonus. This is my friend Lanice Williams, and she is a branding attorney in Atlanta, Georgia, and she is absolutely fabulous. So she will talk to you for an hour one-on-one and talk about your brand and talk about your strategy and maybe talk about some legal forms that you need. She can talk to you about contracts and assignments, and she's not a real estate attorney. You're going to need to find a real estate attorney, but she will help you clarify how you need to be talking to prospective sellers and buyers, and how, she has helped guide me in my branding to be the top buyer in Knoxville. So you'll get an hour one-on-one package with her. I think that's usually about $400. So that's a $400 bonus for signing up in the next, 3, 4, 5 days. Awesome. Awesome experience to talk to her one-on-one. And you may be waiting around for the single most important action you must take to ensure your incredible return on your investment. And are you ready for this? Drum roll, please. Cash flow. I have formulas and strategies that I will teach you and guide you so that you know how much cash flow your property is going to bring you before you go to that closing table, before you even make that first offer. All right. Before you call the seller back to even schedule an appointment to go look at the property, you're going to know how much money you're going to get either per month or in a lump sum, because cash flow is the name of the game in real estate. It's the name of the game in anything, really, if you think about it. You have to have cash flow to make the magic happen. These are my friends over New Year's Eve, and we played cash flow for like 2 days straight. Again, if you want to come hang out, we're going to play cash flow. I love it. Go get it from Robert Kiyosaki. All right, girls, let's go get them. I love this picture of Riz from Greece. It's so great. And what are we going to go get? The money. We're going to go get the money. And y'all, it's not a bad thing to make money. Think about it. You can't tithe to your church if you're not making money. All right. And you don't need money to buy real estate. But it's kind of nice if you do have a lump sum of cash so that you can buy more, or so that you can make the money to buy more, or so you can make the money to take 2 weeks and go to Hawaii. One of the biggest mistakes I've made is leaving money on the table in a deal. And as an agent, as an auctioneer, as a entrepreneur, I never want to leave money on the table. And I see people leaving money on the table all the time because they don't know any other way than listing and buying and getting a mortgage through the bank and selling and repeating the process. All right. Tyler and I have 15 houses. Jason and I have 19 apartment units, 3 complexes, and I've got so many random pieces of land I don't even know. All right. You need to be there. We all need to be there. Everybody needs a real estate portfolio, and you do not need to leave money on the table in the process. Don't lose deals and don't lose opportunities because you don't know how the process should be working. If you have any questions, I'll come back on in a minute and do a live Q&A with you. I hope if you've had any questions through this process, you've put them in the chat box, and I'll come back in and check that in just a second. This is all of my information. This is how you can find me. My Instagram is at Whitney Buys Houses. Periscope is at Whit Buys Houses, and Facebook is Whitney Buys Houses. You can send me an email at info@whitneynicely.com, and all of my packages, all of my programs are on whitneynicely.com. Very easy to get a hold of me, and I want you to experience this happily ever after in the next year, in the next 6 months, in the next 6 weeks. All right. You could be well on your way to being a real estate investor in little to no time. And I'm going to walk you through that on a one-on-one basis, not group coaching, not where I have all these other people with all these other questions wasting your time. I'm going to talk to you about your properties every week, once a week. I'm going to have homework assignments so that I'm pushing you to those goals. I want you to knock your goals out of the park this year. I've also got a program set up so that you can send me messages, send me leads. You can watch these webinars. I've got them recorded. I've got phone calls recording. It's this whole little private community that I've set up for you to become the best real estate investor you've ever dreamed of being. So I'm going to come out right now, go into the questions, and see what we have going on. I'm going to stop the screen sharing there. All right. All right. Hello, everybody. Hello, hello. If you have any questions, let me know. Put it in the box right here. The offer to book the discovery call is expiring about right now. So I'm going to remove it and then put it back up. So in case you did not book your discovery call, you have a second chance right now. The clock's running for 15 minutes. So we'll see how many questions we can get through. And if not, I'll send you an email later so that you can check back in and schedule your call then. Or go ahead and book the VIP package. That'd be cool too. All right, first question we have. Oh, I'm sorry, somebody was having difficulties. Catch the replay. I'm terribly sorry about that. But if you're still on, go ahead and schedule the call, and I can try to sum this up, or I'll send you the replay also. I think it'll send out in about an hour, and you can go through that and let me know if you have any questions individually. Leslie wants to know, how do we go about financing hard money lenders? You need some lenders. Okay, one of the things that we do about financing is it depends on you and your strategy. I'm going to teach you owner financing because I love owner financing. If you have people in your network already that do hard money loans, that's cool. You can use them on the short term or on the long term. That's fine. But I have friends that do hard money loans, and I can walk you through the whole process on how you get them to offer you money. I don't ask people for money. They call me and they're like, hey, what do you think about this? And then I simply say, all right, sounds good. We need to get together with an attorney and get it all figured out. I'll go buy a property, use your money, and we're good to go, rock and roll. So I feel like the hard money lenders, that is probably a conversation that we really need to have individually as to how we can get you to that, into that process and ready for that activity. Because some people don't want to get into real estate investing because they're afraid of the financing. And a lot of times hard money lenders want you to bring some money to the table before they front $100, $200, or $1 million. They want to see the process. So that's why I start with the owner financing, because they don't require anything. When I get owner financing deals, I don't put any money down. I bought a house in August, no money down, no payments until January. How would you like to buy a house in August and not have to make a payment on it until January and not put any money down? I have 15 years to pay that seller off, and they called me wanting owner financing. Yay! I mean, that is a winning day right there when they call and say, hey, I got a house, come and get it. I want to do owner financing. I hear you do owner financing. Yes, I do. I am on the way. So does anybody else have any kind of questions while you're still in here and we can chat a little bit? Anybody? I see maybe 10, 12 people in here. If not, that's cool. I'll kind of shut this thing down. And, oh, what are your thoughts on using your own cash to purchase property? That is a good idea. Unless you can use other people's money to buy houses. All right. My land, I've always just used my money because it's been $1,000. So for $1,000, I can buy some more land. Cool. There's no reason to borrow any money on that, right? On some of the houses that I've bought, people have called and said, hey, I have some money. Do you have anything I could buy? Well, yes, I do. I'm buying a house right now. And they would love to cash out of it. So use somebody else's money. If you have, let's say, $20,000 and you want to buy something, I would really encourage you to look at the property and decide how much repair it's going to need. So if you have $20,000, you can't buy a house for $20 and put $20 in it if you need to. But if you could buy a house for $20 and put somebody in it to rent it the next month and not spend any money on it, do it. But if you can buy a house for $20, I would encourage you to find somebody else that has $20 or $30, use their money to buy it, give them an interest rate back, or give them a lump sum return on their money back, and you end up with the property. I'm okay with you using small bits of money to buy property. If you have $1 million and you want to buy something, call me. We'll buy something. But if you're working on a smaller budget, I'm really going to encourage you to use other people's money or owner financing. I bought a house one time with owner financing. I had $20,000. So I bought the house with owner financing, no money down, but I used my $20,000 to flip the house. The stone house I showed you, I used my $20,000 to flip the house and sell it. There's numbers and formulas that go with that. I could have and should have probably used somebody else's $20,000 and just straight cleared $20,000 on the deal. But I had $20,000 and I used it. So I won't tell you not to use your money. I will encourage you not to, but I won't tell you not to. Any other questions? These are good questions. I like these. We're working on some land deals right now. I love land. I love big tracts of land. Farmland, awesome. So if you have any other questions, if you think of any other questions later, again, I will leave my email. I'll put it right here, info@whitneynicely.com. You should have gotten an email from me already, and I'll send out an email later, but you're welcome to email me. And if you missed the link to sign up for the free discovery call, it's free. Call me. We'll talk about it. We'll figure it out. All right. And we'll see what we can get you involved with. Lease options. Okay, lease options are awesome. I always sell, I won't say always because sometimes I get a cash seller, but a cash buyer. If you're doing owner financing, you buy houses with owner financing and you sell with lease options. You can buy under a lease option also, but I don't like it because it doesn't give you as much control. Okay, if you buy with owner financing or subject to financing, then you actually get the deed. Whereas in a lease option, you can record your lease option, but you still don't have the deed in your name. So it's not as much control, but it also doesn't, take as long. You can write up a lease option in a day or two. Whereas owner financing, you got to go through and now on anything you buy, you have to check the title and make sure that it's good and clear. But it just takes a little while longer to get the owner financing papers set up than it does to do the lease option paperwork. And so, okay, under a lease option, you basically, if you're buying or if you're selling, it's a lease with the option to purchase a property within a certain amount of time for a certain amount of money. So a lot of times when I sell with a lease option, I'm selling it because the person has bad credit or a bankruptcy in their history, or they have a bad divorce or medical bills, or they're self-employed. A lot of self-employed people need lease options because they can't just go to the bank and get a mortgage. They need somebody to work with them for a year or two to show that they made the payments on time, that they make enough money to make the payments on time, and that they've been working with a credible source to move on to a relationship with a mortgage broker. And that works for everybody. People in America, I think it's like 18% of Americans can go out right now and get a loan. They have the credit, they have the money, they have the history, they have the job to support it. Boom. That means there's 80% of the people walking around for a mortgage. Listing agents and brokers are looking for that 18%. I'm looking for 80%. 18%, 80%. It's brilliant. Okay. I'm working with so many more buyers and sellers because I'm not doing traditional real estate. If you want to talk about foreclosure houses, I'm not your girl. I bought one foreclosure. It was a nightmare. The paperwork is unreal and I don't like them. There's enough vacant houses out there that I can get a lease option or subject to financing or owner financing, and I don't have to deal with a bank. I don't have to deal with foreclosures. I can buy them all day long with lease options, owner financing, and subject to. And you can too. In Texas, I don't think you can do a lease option. You do a land contract or a deed contract, or Texas calls it something different. I think Ohio calls it something different also. But if you go to your real estate attorney and tell them that you want to do a lease option or subject to or owner financing, they should be able to help you get there in whichever state you're in. I think lease options are technically illegal in Texas, so they call it something different, and that is legal. But it's pretty much the same process. The paperwork is different. Lease options, again, you can get into lease options with no money down, no money out of your pocket, no repairs, no maintenance, none of that in a lease option. It's cool. Very cool. What else can I tell you about lease options? Speaking of lease options and attorneys, I will work with you to help you find a real estate attorney that will do this creative financing situation. Not every attorney does real estate. You need a real estate attorney, but you also need a real estate attorney that will handle these kind of questions that you have, because they don't all do that. But I've got, some questions that you can ask the attorney so that you are interviewing the attorney. They are not interviewing you, which is a cool spin on things also. We'll work through that. We'll make sure that you have a good real estate attorney that you like and you can work with in your town. Do you have any other questions for me? Or for the large group as a whole, before you book your discovery call? Let's see, do I still have the offer up? Yep, you got another 2 minutes, just over 2 minutes to book the discovery call, and I hope that link is working. If not, I will email it out again later, and you can book it then. The link will be good through the weekend, so you can book your discovery call. I think the first options I have available for the discovery call are next week. I'll try to see if I can clear up the schedule to open up tomorrow morning for discovery calls. So if that's it, that's all I've got. Again, my name is Whitney Nicely East. I am a broker for Whitney Buys Houses, but you do not need to be a broker for buying houses. You just need to be a person that wants to buy houses, and you will be a rock star at it. I know you will. So check out the VIP package for not for group coaching, for one-on-one coaching. I've been doing group coaching for a couple months and I like it. It's fun, but I really get the passion and the satisfaction from helping people one-on-one. So that's what I'm going to be doing. One-on-one coaching for you to get you into real estate. Send me any questions you have. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate y'all. And if you have any questions, you think of any questions later, let me know and we'll get those discovery calls booked just as soon as possible. And yeah, sounds great. I really appreciate y'all. Thank you so much. You're going to be great at this. Thanks.